The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor, a jagged scream of glass that silenced the glittering room. My wife, Elise, stood frozen, her laugh still lingering on her lips, her arm draped over her boss's shoulder. The crowd at her promotion party, executives, colleagues, strangers in tailored suits, stared at me, their murmurs fading into a suffocating hush. I felt the weight of their eyes, sharp as knives, as my chest tightened. I hadn't meant to drop the glass. It slipped from my trembling hand when I saw her whisper something to him, her lips brushing too close to his ear, her fingers lingering too long on his sleeve. I'd been invisible all night, the quiet husband in the corner, nursing a watered-down whiskey while Elise glowed under the chandeliers. She was radiant, her emerald dress catching the light like a flame, her laughter a melody that drew everyone to her orbit. I was proud. God, I was proud. But pride had curdled into something sour as the hours dragged on. She hadn't looked at me once. Not when she gave her speech, not when she accepted congratulations, not even when I tried to catch her eye across the room. Instead, she clung to him, Richard, her CEO, with his polished smile and predatory charm. "You okay, buddy?" A voice broke through the haze. A coworker, some guy in a too-tight blazer, clapped my shoulder. I nodded, forcing a smile. But my eyes stayed on Elise. She was laughing again, her head tilted back, her hand resting on Richard's chest now. My stomach churned. Was I imagining it? The way her fingers grazed his tie, the way he leaned in, his voice low and intimate? I told myself it was nothing. She was networking, celebrating. This was her moment. But the doubt gnawed at me, a splinter burrowing deeper with every glance. I'd seen the signs for months. Late nights at the office, her phone buzzing at odd hours, her sudden need for space. I'd rationalized it all. Her promotion to VP demanded long hours, didn't it? She was stressed, ambitious, driven. I loved that about her. But love is a fragile thing, and mine was fraying, thread by thread, as I watched her across the room. The way she moved, the way she didn't look at me. It felt like a confession she hadn't spoken. "Tom, you're embarrassing yourself," she'd hissed earlier when I tried to join her conversation with Richard. Her words were a slap, sharp and cold, delivered with a smile for the crowd's benefit. I'd retreated to the bar, my face burning, telling myself she didn't mean it. She was just caught up in the moment. But the memory stung, a bruise I couldn't stop pressing. The party buzzed on, a blur of clinking glasses and hollow small talk. I drifted to the balcony, needing air, needing to escape the suffocating weight of my own thoughts. The city skyline glittered below, cold and indifferent. I gripped the railing, my knuckles white, replaying every moment of the night. Her laughter, his hand on her waist, the way she'd dismissed me. Was I paranoid? Or was the truth staring me in the face, dressed in emerald silk? "Tom, isn't it?" A voice startled me. Richard stood there, his presence filling the balcony like a storm cloud. His suit was immaculate, his smile too perfect, like a predator baring its teeth. "Elise speaks highly of you." I forced a nod, my throat tight. She's amazing." "She is." His eyes held mine, unreadable. "But you already know that. You're a lucky man." His tone was smooth, but there was something beneath it, a challenge maybe, or mockery. My pulse quickened. Did he know something I didn't? Or was he just playing the gracious host? "Funny thing," he continued, leaning against the railing, his voice casual but laced with intent. "Elise never mentioned what you do. She said you're, what, a consultant? Freelance." I bristled. Elise always downplayed my work, calling it consulting to avoid explaining the truth. I wasn't just some desk jockey. I was a private cybersecurity expert, hired by corporations to test their defenses, to break into their systems before the real criminals did. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well, better than Elise's salary, even with her promotion. But she hated talking about it. Said it sounded shady. Something like that. I muttered, my eyes flicking back to the ballroom. Elise was still inside, laughing with a group of executives, oblivious to my absence. Or maybe she preferred it. Richard chuckled, a low grating sound. "You're a mystery, Tom. But I like mysteries. They always unravel in the end." He clapped my shoulder, too hard, and walked back inside. My skin prickled. What the hell did that mean? The night dragged on, each minute stretching my nerves tighter. I watched Elise from the edges of the room, searching for proof, for some undeniable sign. A text she didn't hide fast enough. A glance that lingered too long. But all I had were fragments. Her hand brushing Richard's arm. Her smile too bright, her voice too warm. Each one was a pinprick, building to a wound I couldn't ignore. Then it happened. The moment that broke me. Richard took the stage, his voice booming through the microphone, congratulating Elise again. The crowd clapped, their faces glowing with admiration. But as he spoke, his eyes found mine, and his smile twisted, just for a second. To Elise, he said, raising a glass, and to the unsung heroes who support her, like her husband Tom, who's been quietly watching from the sidelines. The room laughed, a polite ripple, but it felt like a blade. Elise's smile faltered, her eyes darting to me then away. Richard's gaze lingered, and in that moment I knew. He wasn't just mocking me. He was taunting me. Because he knew something I didn't. I pushed through the crowd, my heart pounding, my hands shaking. Elise, I said, my voice low urgent as I reached her. We need to talk. Now. She sighed, exasperated, but followed me to a quiet corner. What is it, Tom? You're acting like a child. Am I? My voice cracked, raw with the weight of everything I'd buried. What's going on with you and Richard? Her eyes widened, then narrowed. Are you serious? You're doing this here? At my party? Answer me, I said, my voice barely a whisper. Because I can't keep pretending I don't see it. She laughed, sharp and brittle, but her hands trembled as she crossed her arms. You're paranoid. You always have been. Richard's my boss, Tom. That's it. Then why do you flinch every time I touch you? The words spilled out, jagged and desperate. Why do you hide your phone? Why do you stay late every night, but you can't look me in the eye anymore?